Hello and welcome to Oxygen Not Included. So this is a bit of a spontaneous test from me. If you are seeing this, it means I've got at least 5 or 6 episodes recorded and I'm able to keep it going. This is what I'm hoping, is that I will actually be able to keep a series going, and that the problem is that my energy levels, my health and that, not always the best. Hopefully though we can get some of this done. Now, I've been watching people play this for ages and I've played some of it myself. But one of the things I've found is that people always seem to give up on this series before they get to the more interesting stuff. So I've never actually seen anyone make it to the surface or make it down to the bowels of the asteroid or anything like that. Which means that although I've got some idea how to do the early parts of the game, I've got no idea how the late game works. So I'm looking forward to exploring that with you guys. So we're going to start a new game. Okay, I do have some mods in here. Most of them are quality of life mods. Build over plants, automatically dig out falling sand, wounded automatically go to the med bay, stuff like that. The only ones that really change the game in any real way are pliers, which lets you disconnect pipes and wires without having to deconstruct something. That's just useful for various things. The ability to manually tell them to wrangle flyers. Now, in the base game, if they're in a room and you've turned on auto wrangle, then you can wrangle them. This one lets you just target something and say wrangle it, please. Q for sinks. Now, this mod means that if you've only got if there aren't enough sinks for the passing duplicants, they will actually queue up and wait to use it. Now that is a change from the base game, where if there isn't a free sink they just walk on by, but I don't think it's a major change, and it will just make setting up bathrooms and having cleanliness and that a bit easier. Other than that, it's just visual changes. So let's go new game. We'll go survival because it's not actually that hard. And we're going to go with the easiest setting. There's a number of different asteroids you can be on, but they get increasingly difficult to live on in that. So, although this is the boring one, because this is the one I've seen loads of people do and so on, as I've never really played this game all the way through, I figured this is the best one to go with, because it's the highest chance of survival, i.e. it's the lowest difficulty. Alright, so the... Oh, that's weird. I wonder why it's doing that. Is that because I'm recording it and it's messing with it, or is it just badly programmed that for some reason when you go over that, it brings the background into view? So the coordinates, this is, I'm assuming, is like the random seed. So we'll just randomize that a few times and we'll go with that. So what is this game? This is a game, it's a base management, colony survival type game. There aren't really any enemies, it's basically just you and the enemy. What I like about this game is it implements a physics system with a sort of conservation of energy and mass. Not completely, but more than most other games. And it's all about setting up systems of that. It's like anything that's burning electricity is also producing heat, and you have to control that heat eventually at some point. And I've not started my half-hour timer. Let's start that running. There we go. So here are our people. They're all essentially clones, as far as I can tell. The game calls them duplicants, and they get sort of printed out by a thing. So we've got someone there. The best thing to do is to look at the bad things about them. That one can't do research, that one can't do cooking, that one can't do attacks. That's fine. We've got someone who's good at cooking and digging. We've got someone who's good at researching, doctoring and supplying. That's good. And someone who's only good at tidying. I'm going to re-roll Lindsay. And I think we're going to want a fairly decent digger. So I'll make sure it's someone who's got decent digging. I was wondering if we can get digging. There we go. Digging with tidying and supplying. So that'll be 3 people. This is going to be the polite Imperium because I'm nothing if not imaginative. And we will click hit return on that and embark. Alert! I've woken at the target location, but colonization efforts have already hit a hitch. I was supposed to land on the planet's surface, but become trapped many miles underground instead. Although conditions are not ideal, it is imperative that I establish a colony here and begin mounting efforts to escape. Alright, so let's just hit pause a second. So I've got a mod in, which means we can really zoom out and get a good look at the stuff. But for now, this is all we know about. This is our teleport pod. This is going to print new people and stuff like that. This is our food box. We are surrounded by stuff. We've got sandstone, algae. Algae is an organic stuff which you can use to make oxygen. This is oxalite. This is naturally giving off oxygen. We've got reasonably breathable air there. We've got some muckroot up there. Lots of algae there and there. Good supply of water. Might want to merge that into two and basically just have that, this is always going to be my permanent water supply. Although I might, I'll have this as a permanent water supply, but I won't merge into two because if my water supply gets contaminated, it would be good to have a backup. There's more water down there as well. Plenty of food there we can snag. Even more water there. Some polluted water up there. Okay, this is a fairly typical starting biome. I'm not seeing much coal around. There's probably some. Okay, there's some coal. So this is what coal looks like. Okay. Right, first things first, we need to get access to some of the food and the water, and also get a latrine down with a sink so they'll wash their hands. But I'll need access to the water before... I need access to the water before I build the latrine, otherwise they can't wash their hands. Okay, let's give them some basic dig commands, so we've got some materials to build with. You don't want to dig out the oxalite, so you want to make sure you leave that there. So we'll just dig to there and here. And I'll let them get on with that. So I need to decide... There we go. So I need to decide where I want to sink my ladder down into these water supplies. Might as well dig 3 out either side. And then I think we'll come down into this one here. And we're going to put a pitcher pump. This will let them extract water. We'll put that there. As I said, I want them to be able to have access to water before I make a toilet. I do have to be careful though, because if they don't have a toilet and they have an accident, they might contaminate this water. But we do have a backup here, so if this becomes grey water, then we'll just have to live with it. I think this might be a temporary ladder. I want to work out how wide my bedroom spaces are going to be. I want like a basic sort of living block in the middle. So all the bedrooms are going to sort of be up here with dining halls in between. Then to the left and the right we'll have storage and kitchens and med bays and stuff like that. And then further out we'll have the industrial zones and where the work goes on. Right, so we've got some overlays here which help you show what's going on. So this is breathable. This is like breathable air. So anything red they cannot breathe for some reason. And then dark blue is breathable but not very, and bright blue is very breathable. So there's like carbon dioxide around. There are other gases. There's like chlorine and hydrogen and so on. So power overlay, we don't have any power at the moment. Temperature overlay. Temperature does become an issue later on in the game. At the moment it's probably okay, but as we start to burn coal and stuff like that. Right, so materials overlay, this is basically a very colourful way of basically seeing what everything is made of. So like it helps you spot stuff easier. Like if you're trying to find coal and that, you can go to consumable ore and then you'll probably find all the coal. Light overlay, there's some light coming out of there, but that's it. Plumbing overlay, no plumbing at the moment, no ventilation. Decor, this is how nice things look, which makes the people happy or unhappy. Germ overlay. You've got to be careful of germs. There's food poisoning, slime lungs, and zombie spores. Floral scent is not really a germ, but some duplicants can be allergic. Farming overlay. This will help us spot food and that. Actually, I'm going to tell it to harvest plants if we see them. So if ever we get to them, we'll grab the food. And room overlays. You can make specific rooms by having specific things in them, and then that gives you bonuses and benefits. Okay, so we've made our pitcher pump, so now I feel like I can actually make ourselves a toilet. Right, but first, I don't know how wide to make this central platform. Okay, we're going to drop a ladder down in there. We're going to... If these are going to be like permanent water things, then I'm going to want to replace the walls around them. Advantage of doing this is... Oh, is that oxalite? No, it's fertilizer. Okay, the advantage of having proper walls is you can embed pipes and wires in them. So that goes to there. Right, so if we go out to there and then we'll drop a ladder down. And then I think I want, if I make it an equal distance on this side, that will give me enough space for things. So what is this? That doesn't look right. No, it is. So technically there's going to be a ladder coming straight down there. But as I said, I need to make sure they don't, you know, if they have accidents, it doesn't just fall into this water. So I'm sure there's a shortcut which means if you click on an object you can build a duplicate of it, because I've seen people do that. Right, so if the ladder goes down to there, we build this little thing here. So if they have an accident while up here, it will be caught there. There's still the danger that when they're pumping water they might have an accident, but we'll just have to live with that danger. It's a relatively short window. And we will... Now we want a gap of 3 where our main ladders are, because that will let gases flow up and down easier. It will also give us room for a fireman's pole and a transport tube later on. Right. It's always useful to have ladders running down the side of these things. It means people can get access and actually build the sides and stuff. Not enough materials to construct this building. I thought I had a mod which meant I could plan stuff even if I didn't have the materials. Okay. But now I've done all this, what I should do is make ourselves a toilet. Where do I want that? There's another load of water there. Okay, there's some polluted water down there. So we're going to start off with manual latrines. Those give off polluted dirt, which you can turn into normal dirt and compost, I think. But later on we're going to have proper flushing lavatories, which will give off polluted water. So if there's already polluted water there, I could make this a polluted water cistern. So it kind of makes sense. if we dig out this way, and we'll make this a higher priority. So, with this being a higher priority, I'm hoping these guys will, once they finish digging the bits they'll go dig over there instead. I also don't want them to spend too much time here over the water until we've got the latrines done. As I said, I don't want them to do accidents. Yep, they'll be able to climb past this oxalite. You can see consumable ore. It's slowly going away and it's emitting oxygen as it goes. Carbon dioxide is heavier than oxygen, so as you can see, oxygen is floating up, and this red there is carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide will go down and to the right and will end up in these pits. Right, plumbing, no. Medicine, wash basins. So we're going to put in 2. Even though I've got the queuing mod, it's still a good idea to put those in. I think we can make those priority 6. Drop that stuff again. Hopefully they'll make our sinks. And a couple of outhouses. Leave enough room for another couple of sinks. And we'll go with 3 outhouses. Okay, wash basin. Relatively high priority to be filled. They need to wash their hands if they're going in the direction of the arrow. Copy settings, paste onto that one. So they'll enter the loos perfectly fine, but if when they're leaving, if they are germy, they will stop and wash their hands. And because I've got the queuing mod, theoretically, even if 3 of them are leaving at once, and 2 of these are in use, the 3rd person will stand and wait. Right, they're starting to dig there. This person's getting water. Kind of want at least one working loo. Oh, did this oxalite disappear, or did I dig it by accident? It doesn't appear to be there anymore. Are both of these full of water now? No available errands, so I think both the sinks are ready. If we look at our germ overlay, you can see these are this is a germ source, circly thing, yellow, food poisoning. Latrines are a source of food poisoning, so you want to avoid that. Alright, let's deconstruct that because I want another tile in there. Everyone's having some food. We did start off with some food. Unrefrigerated. We've got 18,000 calories at the moment. Only 3 duplicants. I do have all the food set to harvest. Priority 5. We've not dug our way to any of the plants yet. We'll get there. There you go. See, someone is using the latrine, and there's a little indicator here which shows how many uses of the latrine until someone needs to come along and clean it, which is what the priority on that is going to be. So I want to make sure that cleaning the latrine is a reasonably high priority as well. So copy settings over to there. We should be able to see that when we got that. So priority of those things are 7, so's that. Yep, no bedrooms at the moment, so they are just going to sleep. Let's dig out that so they'll have access to those plants over there, already set to be harvested. Okay, so with latrine and a couple of sinks in, I may as well put a 3rd sink in. Once again, I'm sure there's a button to duplicate, make a duplicate. Right, let's put in one more wash basin as a lower priority. And let's speed things up. I don't think there's anything else to do until we've got these water areas dug out the way I want. Let's dig about there. Oh yeah, okay, priorities on people. This is based on their skills and stuff. So tuner's science skill is 1. Like, I don't want anyone to do research unless they have a skill in it. And if they have a skill in it, then I want them to be more likely to do the research. Same with decorating, disallowed for everyone, and cooking, disallowed. I don't want people doctoring unless they have a skill in it. Toggling, life support, attacking, that's all fine. Farming, ranching, yeah. Okay. So where people have like a slight skill or affinity, I want them to be more likely to do those tasks. But I don't want to, you know, specifically ban people from doing other stuff most of the time. You don't want an incompetent person cooking, or decorating, or doing research. That just leads to problems. Okay, no oxygen generator built. Yes, that is true. At the moment we are relying on the oxalite, but there is quite a bit of oxalite about the place, actually. Tutorial, basic controls. Yep. Speed or slow perception, space pauses it. Colony management. Yeah, I know most of this from messing around. How duplicants can move. Digging for resources. Yeah, if you've never played before, then these things do work pretty well. Temperatures. Disease. Yes, right. Requires a food source. Yes, we know that they require a food source. As you can see, the duplicants can hop a single gap like that easily enough, and they can climb up too. Are we out of materials? Okay, gotta watch this carefully, because is this person about to get themselves trapped in there? Okay, I thought if they were going to be standing there and then finish building the wall, they could get stuck there before the ladder gets built. It's the sort of thing that duplicants do all the time. Start planning a second floor up here. We've still got we've got 21,000 calories of food because we've probably been harvesting some of the wild plants about the place. If you hold down Shift, it forces it into a straight line, which is useful. Right, let's go up to about there so we can get access to these plants here. And we will dig out one either side. And we're going to have our first sort of bedroom here. We'll just put a mass dormitory in first, but we'll try and switch to individual bedrooms with comfy beds as soon as we can. Reason being, barracks gives them a morale of +1. Whereas if they have an individual bedroom, which has a single comfy bed, so only one bedroom per person, no cots, no industrial machinery in that, then they get +2 morale. Mess hall is also good for their morale. They need a mess table. Great hall is even better, but that has to be quite large and very decorous. So we'll sort of work our way up to mess halls. None of these other ones, I think, provide an actual morale bonus. A park. Okay, a park sign, at least 2 wild plants. Yeah, it's good if you can keep a piece of natural terrain around. Especially a piece of natural terrain that they'll be passing through, because it will give them +3 morale every time they walk through there. Nature reserves even more, at least 4 wild plants. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, let's try and remember that we want to leave There's much of this stuff here, or possibly up here. There's loads of plants there. Somewhere in this area we want to reserve to be a nature reserve. Okay, food is still at 21,000. Oh, okay, duplicate printing pod. Okay. Choose a blueprint. Okay. We can make someone who's good at cooking, someone who's good at operating and cooking, someone who's just good at operating. How quickly a duplicate burns or stores calories. Decreased calories. Bottomless stomach. But that's supposed to be a bad thing. This duplicate might actually be several black holes in a trench coat. Farts frequently. You don't want that because you get polluted oxygen everywhere. Allergic to floral scent. That might... This guy's going to eat more. He's very good at machinery, but we don't have any machinery. We don't really need the sand, but I'm... Okay, at the moment we just need someone who can do work for us. Duplicate will sneeze uncontrollably when exposed to the pollen present in floral scent. A bit more food shouldn't be an issue. So let's print out Bert. He'll appear and be very, very happy. Right, do we have any skill points to give out? Yes, Bert came with a skill point. So the way they all have access to the same skills, but they have areas in which they're interested. If you give them a skill they're interested, then their morale goes up, and you can see, and they've got a morale need based on how many skills they need. So like, once this person gets over here to rocket piloting, you can see they're going to need an awful lot of base morale, otherwise they're going to be pretty miserable. Right, Bert, he's okay with improved tinkering. If I give him anything else, he might start to be a little bit stressed. So I will just give him that. And it doesn't do anything in the game, but we will give him the improved tinkering hat. Oh, we have a video on duplicate morale. Foods, rooms, decor and recreation are duplicate experiences will have an effect on their morale. Yep, we know that. Well, I know that. And you may know that as well if you've watched other people play this game. Alright, so we're coming to the end of the first episode. We're doing pretty well. I think everyone has been washing their hands. Yep, you can see that there's some food poisoning on here. See, polluted dirt, 450,000 food poisoning germs, but there's none anywhere else in the base, and the water is currently clean. So we've got working toilets. We are working our way towards where our bedrooms are going to go. We do have some wild plants that are growing, I think. Bluff briars exude pheromones. Okay. Oh yeah, these are bluff briars. These are just very, very pretty. These are actually useful for making your Great Hall, because you need at least a plus 20 decor item in there, and you can just put these plants in. The mealwood is growing, I believe. Wild growth, life cycle 12. Yeah, wild growth is slower than if you're cultivating. But you can see here it's got 3 needs, and they've all been met. If it's domesticated, you also have to fertilize them. So every object in this game has all these properties. There's the primary element it's made of, and if you want, you can go here and get information. So like genetic ooze, solid. Dupe ooze is a slurry of water, carbon, and dozens of trace elements. I wonder if that's what our guys are made of as well. And there goes the thing for the end of the episode. Duplicates are printed from pure ooze. Yeah. So everything has a mass, an age, its current temperature, whether it has disease, specific heat capacity, which is used for the transfer of heat, thermal conductivity, how quickly does it go across, and melting point. You know, and everything in this game has that information. Like if we check sandstone, that's 1,000 kilograms of sandstone. It has a specific heat capacity of 0.8, thermal conductivity, melts at about 1,000 degrees C, and again you can get all the information from it. Additional states: if you turn it into liquid, it turns into magma. And all these systems sort of interact with each other, sort of giving you lots of interesting interactions. Okay, I'm going to say goodbye here, and I'm going to take a break. As I said, if you've seen this episode, it means I've at least pre-recorded 4 or 5 episodes. Maybe I'll aim for 6. And that way, if I space those out, I should be able to sort of keep laying the episode tracks in front of the Let's Play train. Bye bye.